Let's hope it's working. It says I'm live. I got to get my hairs cut. There's still too much of it. Still too much. Not like I should be complaining, but I hate when it looks like, I don't know, a bowl cut. So, yay for being live on YouTube. Cheryl Sigel, I love it. Cheryl, give me a quick in the chat. Can you see and hear me? Just want to make sure because sometimes the YouTube is wonky. So, yes, perfect. Then I don't have to bug everybody else with it. Awesome. Kelly and Penny and Mary, love it. Hey, look at though. There we go. Higher ground welding and art. The more you do something, the quicker you get at it. Boom! Look at me changing the channel from you TikTok to YouTube. Love it, people. So we've got many of us have a second bit of time together. This also may be the time where, because of your what have you, your time. I'm just trying to take off the notifications on my phone so I can focus on you. Is What do you want to do? Seriously, I'm going to be here for an hour. You're going to be here for as long as you can. What can I do to help you get moving on your clutter sooner rather than later? There we go. Now Heather MC says, I think when you're starting on TikTok and then jet over to YouTube, more people follow and find you. Thank you. Good morning, Louise. McDoug's, good day. Good day. Yeah, you know what? I'm experimenting with kind of habit stacking to put the both of them there. I figured why not kind of keep the momentum. I love it. Diane says she's here from TikTok. So there we go. Cheryl is taking her destination declutter day and working on yard work. I love it. Melissa's so glad to be here. Cool. Awesome. Good people here. And for the people who have no freaking idea who I am or what I'm doing, and you're just kind of scrolling around on YouTube, which isn't as easy as TikTok, I will totally give you that. But my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Destination, because, and this is where I get so screwed up because things are mirrored differently, is you're on a road trip called life. You're on a road trip from here to decluttered. If you're stuck, if there's a roadblock, if you're in the mud, if you have a flat tire, notice I use the driving metaphors. Now, I'm here to help you with your clutter. So if you put something in the comments, I can help you with that. I also do one-on-one coaching. I have a 10-session package. If you're interested in that, get on my mailing list and we can chat about that. But in the meantime, I also love to just do these very informal kind of things to get you a taste of what coaching would be like. But instead of me dealing with tons of people, it's just you and me for an hour a week for 10 weeks. So Penny Myers is saying, leaving for the summer. Oh, how cool. Not sure what to prioritize regarding how to leave the house as in clutter and clean. Okay. So Penny, sometimes it helps to work backwards to figure out how to move forwards. So if you want to leave the house clean, decluttered and clean, imagine walking into your house, coming back to it after you've returned from the summer. Walk into your house now and pretend. We do a lot of pretending and playing and experimenting here because we like to have fun. Pretend you're walking into your home on the day that you're coming back from wherever you go for the summer. What do you want your home to look like when you are walking in? And I'm saying, get specific. That first room that you walk into, what would make you say, when you walk in? And not just how it looks, but also how it smells, how it feels. Write these things down. This is your brain telling you what you can do to make things better. Throw away that trash. Put that stuff in the cabinet. Donate those things. Wipe off the counter. Okay? You knew, I love this. Penny Myers. I never even thought of this. She says, I knew you would have an avenue for me. I love it when words exist on two different levels. So yes, I have an avenue. So why don't you start at the end and work backwards? It's kind of like, well, if I'm leaving for my trip on Wednesday. What are the things that I can do beforehand so I'm ready for that? Well, like I literally just pulled out my thing of euros and things like that because we're going international. I needed to find out, and I wrote these things down. So you can write down all those things and then create a map. I hope that helps. Now, this is really cool. And Louise, I'm so glad I did help you yesterday because Louise showed up yesterday and she was feeling overwhelmed and bummed about her living room. However, she gave me some good insight that I then reminded her of, which is checking in to see how you feel physically and noting that how you feel physically directly impacts everything else in your life. She had said she just got home from her lymphoderma, I think it's called, um, treatments, and those things take a lot out of her. So I said, "Notice, you're not feeling so I bet you're tired. I bet you're achy and cranky, and maybe you just need a snack and a nap." And, she says, "You certainly helped me yesterday. I took over an hour nap." Naps are good. They help your body recover. So yay for you not fighting the nap like some petulant little kid. But when you gave yourself the opportunity to take a nap, you took a nap, and then, man, did you take a nap? Good. I hope you felt better when you got up. I love it. Now, Diane Cohn is bringing up something that we were kind of talking about on the TikTok over. So, welcome for everybody who showed over from TikTok. Very cool. There we go. Here we go. We got the Gen X decluttering coach here, Casey Kasem in 1984. Casey Kasem, American Top 40. Kat Roby. Actually, I got to give a shout out before we get into cosmetics. Kat Roby does what she calls SBB, scheduled Beth blinders, because my name is Beth, life coaching, scheduled Beth blinders. So when I'm on, it's kind of like a Pavlov's dog. What can I do when Beth is on a TikTok live or a YouTube live? And then she writes it in the comments. Now I show you this because this is a formula. This is a process that is working for Kat. So maybe you want to do it too. She writes down what she's going to do in this time frame and she shares it with all of us for external accountability. She doesn't keep it to herself, that you could totally do that. But she's like, "Hey-o," just like Ed McMahon, right? Schedule Beth Blinders, time for 1. And then she numbers them. Tidy kitchen. 2, organized desk. 3, put laundry away. Digital declutter in bed just ended. So yay, go for it, my dear. And yeah, American Top 40. I love it. Kat Roby also had an amazing nap yesterday. Road maps and road naps. I love it. Okay. Got such good stuff. Now, yes. Oh, this is so good. So I'm going to get to the well, no, I promise. There's such good stuff here. I love the interaction. See, this is why I prefer the lives, because I show up exactly when you need the help. You don't wait for years while I write a book and it gets published and printed and you have to go buy it and whatever. By that time, who knows? But let me just back up for here. So and I'm all about making roadmaps, trust me. So Diane is saying, what do we do with expensive cosmetics that we can't use? Now, this is where I tend to be a little bit like an English teacher, because the words we use make us feel feelings. The words we use tell us stories and make us feel feelings, because notice the difference between these two sentences. Notice how they feel. And Diane, so notice the difference between, what do I do with this expensive cosmetic I can't use? And the difference between that and, what do I do with this cosmetic I can't use? The absence of one word, expensive. How does that change it? If it wasn't expensive, what would you do with it? Notice, please, everybody, and I am not immune to this myself. We all have words in our head that makes us feel feelings, and many of us, I dare say all of us, have words in our heads under the topic of money that make us feel feelings. And we never talk about this in our society, except for more money is better money and all that stuff. But there can be tension when you spend a lot of money, aka something is expensive. There can be tension between when you buy something for a lot of money and it doesn't work out the way you hoped it would. So notice that. What I want to suggest to you, though, is unless you bought the item at a place that you can return it, you will never get your money back. You have invested that, you have spent that money. And when you spend something, it's gone unless you have the receipt and you can return it. So I offer to you, if you can't return it, it doesn't matter what you do with it, you're not going to get your money back. And I say this with love. So in business, they do this all the time. It's weird. I got to look up why it's called a fallacy because that seems like it's fake to me. But I'll call it a principle, the sunk cost principle. Don't throw good money after bad. And what I mean by that is also you may not invest more in those cosmetics. You'll know not to buy them the next time. That color, that texture. Oh, I thought it was going to not transfer onto my coffee cup, but it did. You'll know better next time. So you paid for something and you learned something from it. So that informs your future purchases. But don't stress, don't give any more stress and any of your energy or thought to things like that. Learn something from it, do something with it, probably throwing it away. Notice how that feels, and then ask yourself next time, um, do I want to spend that kind of money? Do I want to be, how can I be a little bit more sure that it's going to work out for me? And there's the life lesson too. We all make decisions on purchases and things that we bring into our homes and lives, whether we buy them or not. Some of those decisions work out and some of them don't. It's part of life. Not every decision you make is going to be the right decision. Learn from the ones that turned out not to be the right decision and endeavor to do something different and better next time, ex husbands included. Okay. So, good stuff. Now, I love this. This is the other thing I was going to hit on too. Higher ground welding and art, which is also Anne. Yes. I've been working on my caregiver burnout balance, and things always change. So it's a constant evolution. But this is the part I love the best. I've quit buying into investing in the idea of glorifying burnout. No, there's absolutely nothing noble about a car on the side of the road with no gas in the tank, flat tires, and not even any windshield wiper fluid in it. There's nothing noble about that. Now, the people who glorify that probably benefit from that dynamic. But notice again, if we are hydrating, notice is probably going to be the Pee Wee's Playhouse word of the day where we scream real loud. I suggest you just hydrate. There's nothing good about you running out of gas. If your car runs out of gas, you know what you got to do? You got to wait there. You got to walk someplace. You got to get the little tank to fill up. You got to walk back. There's no glamour in it. So don't run yourself out of gas. Now, ooh, all sorts of things. There we go. Yeah. No, I love it. Louise says about napping. I was fighting taking a nap until your mind coaching words and voice got through to me. Imagine the dynamic between you as a loving parent and your tired, cranky little kid in the back seat. Now, if I just offer to all of us the phrase to use on yourself, maybe I just need a snack and a nap, or a nap and a snack. Could I use a snack? Could I use a nap? Let me try that. Imagine using that on a little kid. Here, do you want a snack? Take a nap. Sometimes you're overtired, but notice you're going to feel better when you do it. And your mind is supposed to be kind, but if you grew up in a situation that the words that surrounded you weren't so kind, it can be a habit, you know? Okay. So USC 595 says, I have a lot of clothes that I love, but I know that I need to reduce the amount. How do I thin out the clothes? So many good words to start there. What I will suggest to you is this. I would say, how do you know? I would just ask, how do you know that you need to reduce the amount of clothing you have? And I would suggest to you, you can write it in the comments, but I would write it down to myself. I know I need to reduce the amount of my clothing because of this reason right here. Okay. I have lots of clothes that I love, but I know I need to reduce the amount of clothes that I have. All right, how about this? Maybe I'll keep the clothes I love, but I will reduce the amount of clothes that I don't love. Because I don't care how many outfits you have some outfits you love more than others. So look for the ones you don't love as much as the others. Weed out the ones that you don't like. And it is like weeding your garden. It's a piece at a time, a weed at a time, a little bit at a time, a shirt at a time, a pair of underpants at a time, a little bit at a time. But I would get curious as to why you need to reduce the amount. I'd also get curious, when's the last time I've worn things? It's going to be curiosity and asking yourself questions and then quieting things down enough to listen for your answers and ideally writing them down. If you don't write them down, you won't notice that the same things come up again and again. Writing things down gives you a paper trail of, oh, last time, remember that happened and I was cranky, but I took a nap and felt better. Ooh, yes. And somebody says, Freddie Pepper, is this live Friday? Yes. Yes. Today is Friday, May 16th, 1919, 9:17 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm live. All right. So I'm gonna back up here because I don't wanna, yeah. So yes, and Diane, notice I just realized realizing is a good thing. That thinking money makes me overwhelmed and stops me in my tracks. Yeah, yeah. All of us have unexamined thoughts about money that cause us to feel feelings. I will stake my claim on it. Everybody on the planet has thoughts about money that causes them to act in a certain way. All you need to do is look at the news. Who are those people who have more money than God and still are unhappy? But I digress. Okay. Now, I love this. Therapy Gal Sue is doing her version of the cat Roby. Up early, 2 hours before work from home starts. Spending the hour together, one, gathering my donations and setting out for today's porch pickup. Wonderful. Two, quick house reset. So no housework this weekend. Yes. We are showing up right now. I am showing up in your life right now to encourage you to start decluttering now so you don't have to do as much decluttering later. Now, later could be this weekend, later could be when you're in your 80s, when you have even less energy and time and focus and desire to do it. So, doing it now means less later. And now you have the most energy and the most youth in you, the most useful energy. Um, Yep. Now this is fun. Louise says the longer you keep an unused product or item in your home, the more it will, and I think you meant to say aggravate you, but I love when you aggregate used products, they may begin unused products, they will begin to aggravate you. So if you have unused products in your home, pick one. Ask yourself why you haven't used it yet. And if you don't have a good answer, you know, if you don't have a good answer, start using it. Open it up. Break the seal. Break the spell. You deserve to use the new mascara. Now, so Anne says, I work in an industry where guys say, ooh, interesting. Oh, you worked 60 hours last week? You must be part time. Blah. Right. And was raised by a German mother. So I've been conditioned to work too hard to be worthy of nice things. It is bunk, 100%. That is bullshit. Yes. Notice we are all brought up in certain environments. The hard workers have been recognized. They get some sort of ancillary benefits from, I worked 80 hours last week. Yeah, but I bet you feel exhausted, you feel crappy, and somebody else is benefiting from you running yourself into the ground. It's a capitalistic, non sustainable way of approaching things. Okay, so USC is saying there's not enough room for the clothing you do like. Okay, so notice you need to get rid of your clothes. You want to get rid of some of your clothes so that the clothes you want to keep fit better in your storage areas. So start with the stuff that you're not so keen on. What is faded? What is torn? What doesn't fit? Maybe it's not even donating, but maybe it's just changing the seasons. You pull out the wool socks and you Bring out your shorts. That's type of thing. Yep. Yes, and I figured you got Louise, but you were so fun. Aggravate and aggregate. Notice the correlation. Okay. Okay, Jesse Melvin, let's go there because I've lost some weight recently. And what I want to offer, she says, after 40-pound weight loss, I said I need to get rid of my clothes. It was suggested. I'd be really curious by whom. So somebody else has the thought. You had the thought, I want to get rid of my clothes. And somebody else's thought caused you to do something. It was suggested I keep my old clothing just in case. And that statement wrecked my train of thought. No, you know what it did? It didn't wreck it, it just derailed it, or it stopped your train. And now I can't get rid of these clothes. Okay, here's a really neat thing. Everybody, notice you have a thought that comes from you. I want to get rid of these clothes that are now too big on me. I love being a smaller size, so I'm going to enjoy buying some pants in one size smaller. Somebody else, though, somebody else out there says, no, don't do that. Do what I say. And you decided to listen to them as opposed to you. Notice, just in case what? Let's finish that sentence. Just in case you gain that weight again? Well, if you don't want to gain the weight again, one of the things that may keep you on the weight loss and maintenance journey is to not have larger clothes to kind of easily slip back into. So it could be part of your weight loss maintenance to make it more difficult for you to get dressed in larger clothes. But notice, everybody, assholes, opinions, everybody's got one. Whose words are you going to listen to? Yours or somebody else's? Somebody else wants you to do what they say to do. It can be an act of love and rebellion, two things I love, to say, interesting, but no, I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. Total backseat driver. Don't do that. Don't do what you want. Do what I want you to do. Do what I would do. If it were me, yeah, but I'm not you. I'm me, and I'm going to donate those bigger clothes. I'm going to go to Macy's and buy myself a pair of capris in a smaller size. Yeah, and Anne is saying, "Oh my God, I'm realizing how many of my blocks go back to someone else's voice completely." And you are so not alone. You are so not alone in that. All of us. I think that's where they come from because this is what I will offer. And I love this. Heather MC says, after throwing out a huge box of unused hotel soaps and shampoos, I swore I would never take another soap again. Me too. Now I didn't. I realized I just wasn't using them, and I realized that even if it was free, because free is also a word that has to do with money. Even if it's free, it isn't worth it if I never use the thing. So if it was unused and unopened, I swore I would never do it again. Yes. But let's get back to the even deeper thing because it's just the handful of us here. And it's neat. We got 14 people, excuse me, 40 people here. That's a nice little number for YouTube. So thank you all for changing the channel. The way I like to explain the voices in my head, and I have voices, and I bet you do too, is they come from two different places. This is a story that I tell myself that I can picture in my head that makes sense to me. So I'll share this with you. This is how I picture it. I am sitting here and I am in a car. Where is it? Over here. I am the driver of the car. Can you picture yourself in the driver's seat of a car? It doesn't have to be the car you currently use, but you're in the driver's seat. And you are the one who can step on the gas to go forward, to step on the brake and stop, and to steer in any direction. You're the one who has the ability to notice when your gas tank is going down and saying, "Ooh, I should probably pull over and fill up." You can notice when the windshield is getting fuzzy and you don't really know where you're going, and you do things to clean out and get clarity on where you're going. You also can look in the rearview mirror and see where you come from. So notice the parallels between being a driver in an actual car and how that can also be the way you drive through your life. You're not alone in your car, though. You have two what I call invisible passengers. Now they're up in here and they're in here. You have two invisible passengers in your car. And I call them your backseat driver sitting in the back seat. And then in the front seat next to you in the passenger seat is your co-pilot. Now, here's how I like to think of it. Let's start with the backseat driver because sometimes we think that's the only voice in our head. That is the voice of fear. It is oftentimes started in somebody else's voice. Don't do that. You may get in trouble. Don't do that. You may hurt yourself. Don't do that. It may hurt. Don't do that. It scares me to see you do that. Don't do that. People may judge you. Don't. No, no, no. Shame, shame, shame. Fear. Stop, stop, stop. Don't do what you want to do because you've decided, I want to do this. And then the backseat driver pumps up and says, don't drive like that. Drive like I want you to. So that is the voice of fear. On the one hand, you get the voice of fear. That's your backseat driver. Thank freaking God. I realized there's also another voice in the car. Now you don't hear it as often because the backseat driver is also like a scared little kid who's going ba 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 and this and that and don't do that and don't do this and that person's gonna make fun of you and it's too many and too old and blah, 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 blah. Shh. When you learn to quiet down your backseat driver, yeah, just you can't. You can't. No. Fear and no. Backseat driver. Co-pilot. Now I like to think I show up kind of co-piloty. So the co-pilot is the opposite. Instead of the back seat, it's in the front seat. It's right next to you. And it's saying, "Hey you're pretty awesome. What do you want to do with this one wild and fabulous life?" And it's patient and it's kind, it's love. They even say it in church. Love is patient, love is kind. Love will sit there and wait with you until you say something about what you want. Well, I want to do this. And your co-pilot says, "Okay, let's make a plan. Let's talk about this. Let's make that happen." It's love and yes and calm. And to me, that is why they say God is your co-pilot. Or I call it, I'm not, I grew up Catholic in Massachusetts, so I have religious issues, but I think of this as spiritual. I think of this as your soul. I think of this as that clean kind of energy of 100% pure love from the back to the middle and round again. 100% pure love that says, yes, you can do what you want. And notice how it feels to listen to the backseat driver. And when you listen to them, then you do things. And how has that turned out for you? If it's turned out good, maybe it's not your backseat driver. But notice how it feels. And it may feel different, especially if you used to listen to the backseat driver. It may feel different, unusual, foreign, strange, because you're so used to listening to the negative voices, Louise. And I say Louise because she is always battling her inner voices. But when you do quiet down your backseat driver and listen to your co-pilot, when you listen to the voice of yes and love and possibility and patience and encouragement, and you take those actions, ideally you're going towards a destination you want to get to. Yeah. So you're in the driver's seat, fear is in the back seat, but love is right next to you, helping you get to where you want to go. And that story of how things go on in my head and in my heart and in my life helps me get some distance and perspective and be like, "Oh, yeah." So I often say, "What would I do if I was on a road trip?" Well, I would make myself feel better physically. I would pull over and go to the bathroom. I would get a drink of water. I would pull over and, for the night and sleep in that cute little hotel on the side of the road. And then I would get up in the morning and head in the same direction. And every day I'd get closer to where I want to go to. And there's going to be people who say, don't do that. Don't do that. And I'll say, okay, I notice that you're saying that, but that's more about you than it is for me because my truth is I want this. I want to do this. Now I speak from experience and I have not been this way in my life consistently until my 50s. So it took me 50 years to have the occasional flare up of insight and saying, I'm going to do what I want. And man, sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But when it worked out, did it work out really well? I have stories that I will smile on my deathbed, remembering because of when I said yes to what I wanted to do and quieted down the naysayers and the scared people in my life. And I have scared people in my life. I do. She's called my mother. He was called my father. So I noticed that, but now I also get why they are the way they are and were the way they were. They were doing the best they can with what they had. They did not examine the fact that they lived in a patriarchal capitalist society and that they maybe didn't have a choice at that time. But I have a choice. You have a choice. We have choices. Okay. And Kat Roby says, Louise, I'm always batting away my negative voices too. You are not alone. But I'm going to offer you this too. Your negative voices have some value because they are powerful. The negative voices you have power enough for you to take your foot off the gas, even slowly. Why am I slow in my roll? Why am I not, going forward and getting there every day? Why am I slow in my roll? Listen to what they're saying. Their words, they can influence you. They can manipulate you to do what they want because they benefit from you. And when you clue into how they stop you, you can be like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to make me afraid that whatever." But I'm not afraid of that anymore. I'm not afraid that people are going to judge me if I show up on the internet without having taken a shower and with absolutely no makeup on my face. I don't care if people judge me because I am going to be 60 in a couple of years and I have wrinkles everywhere on my face. I don't care. And not caring about the stuff that's not worth caring about is a place of power. I care about the things I care about, being kind, loving, helping friends, family, being kind to myself, self care, other care. Those are the things that are really important to me. No, I am. And it is freedom to not care. And maybe it comes with wisdom. Maybe it is a postmenopausal thing. I don't care where it came from. This is why I am not a licensed therapist who's always looking in the back. I look forward. I look ahead and I look forward. I am a coach. I'm like, where are we going? Let's go there. That's going to be fun. How can we get there? I am a road trip creator. And it is freedom to not give a shit about what you don't, so that you have more energy and focus to really focus on the things that matter. Think about the amount of time, energy, and money that is spent looking good for women when we could be using that time, energy, and money in making sure that everybody is treated kindly on the planet. But somebody benefits from us being distracted by the things that don't matter. And then while we're distracted about those things, oh my God, I need Botox, somebody else is benefiting from that. Now, I am laughing right now because Kat Roby is like, dude, I found the coolest rotten squash science experiment, and the 10-year-old in me is gleeful. Hashtag kitchen tidy adventures. So, you know what I love about this? First of all, I love when I hear people saying the word love, and I try to use it a lot. I love that Kat Roby isn't judging herself harshly when she has come across a rotten squash, but she is gleeful and she's like, oh my God, look at how this thing, she is having fun. She is laughing at herself. She is having fun with herself. I love it. Louise, I am going to be your co pilot for the rest of your life. All you need to do is kind of when they used to have those rubber bands, like what would Jesus do? You could be like, what would Beth say? What would Beth say right now to calm down my backseat drivers? You can imitate what I say until your voice just starts to speak in that language. It seriously can be like a foreign language to many of us, to speak kindly and patiently and non-judgmentally, because many of us, not even many of us, I was brought up in a judgmental, impatient, frustrated, distracted, loving environment, all of those things. So I know the difference and I like it better on this side. I like it better. I feel better when I talk like this to other people and I practice it. So then I was thinking about this, I really have kind of, as they say, like rewired my brain. My brain has a choice of saying this crappy thought or this better thought. I don't want to feel crappy. I want to feel better. So I see the road signs and I have a choice and I head towards better. I head towards better as often as I can. Because if I want to feel crappy, oh, there's a fucking highway to crappy. I'm on the highway to hell. And notice too, and this is, wait, hear my voice in your head and think of me kindly. That was Morrissey, the Smiths. I say that to myself, says Becky, when I'm shopping. What would Beth say or think? Do I really want or need this? And let me be clear about this thing too. Because there we go. Louise just says, Copilot Beth told me to put ice on my back while listening. Yeah. Said, pay attention to you and what will make you feel better. Notice that a phrase, words can hurt. Never mind, sticks or stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt. Names can never hurt me. Names can totally hurt you. And even allegedly neutral words, the first one sentence can have two different feelings and meanings depending upon the energy behind it. I have a story in my life of an aunt of mine. Now, I would like to think that she was trying to be nice, but I remember reaching for a donut and she's like, do you really need that donut? And notice my eyes, my head tilt, the the way in which my voice is going. Kind of judgy, huh? Implying, hey, fatty, get your hand off that donut. You don't need that. You're fat. Now, notice, without judgment, and this is the thing, we have to learn to turn down our own internal judgment and feel better. Do I really want that donut? Yeah, I really want that donut. Oh my God, it's going to taste so good. I deserve to, I want to eat that donut. I want those good tastes on my taste buds. It's okay if I'm not a skinny mini. I deserve love and donuts. Notice, do I really need that donut? Yeah, I need good tastes on my taste buds. Num, num, num. So notice when you're being judgy of yourself. Notice when other people, notice there's freaking judginess all over the place. Decide which thought is going to make you feel better and practice speaking in that language instead of judgment, love, and curiosity. Fun, love, curiosity, kindness, being kind to yourself. It may feel really weird, like you're literally speaking a foreign language. You know? Yeah. Now I love this. Higher Anne says there's something very important about kindness and helpfulness. You also have to not be an asshole. Yeah, being an asshole means you're really not being kind. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing. No, you also have to not be an asshole. All the help and nice in the world doesn't matter if there's also some mean sprinkled in. Yes, that's why you need to make sure that as Elvis Costello would say, that my aim is true, that your intentions are clean, that you're not doing it with anything other than pure love and helpfulness in your heart. Even when you do things with the best intentions, you may also inadvertently screw up or not realize how it could be misconstrued. But when you're doing something that's kind of judgy and you're kind of being an asshole to somebody else and yourself. Yeah, I am hypersensitive to criticism too. So, yeah, you can't undo it with good things. You might be able to, but man, will it take decades. Trust is something that may never be repaired. I don't think it can be, frankly. If somebody is not worthy of your trust, and that includes yourself, you can learn to trust yourself again. So practice trusting yourself. Don't be an asshole to yourself. Give yourself grace. And as Diane says, once I learned to give myself the grace I give others, it made all the difference. Give yourself grace. Forgive yourself your trespasses as you forgive those who trespass against you. Lead yourself not into temptation. Temptation could be fun. Deliver you from evil. Okay, that'd be good. And that's about all I can remember. Okay? Don't be an asshole to yourself. Are you being an asshole to yourself? Then you know what you do? As Diana Ross would say, you stop in the name of love before you break your heart. Literally, just be one of the supremes. When you hear those judgy asshole words in your own head, stop, interrupt them. And there we go. Now, Anne says, I'm estranged from an older sister. I'd like you to adopt you as proxy. I am an older sister. I am available for adoption. Go for it. Go for it. I will share with you. I am estranged from one of my younger sisters. She struggles with her mental health. I won't go into that. But what I'm sharing with you honestly is if that was not the family dynamic, everything I say on my socials lives are things that I would share with her. I would share with my other sister. I share with my nieces and nephews. Now, one of the rules of coaching is you don't coach people without their permission. So I don't lead with this. You know what you should do and blah blah blah. But I will share with you that this stuff is stuff I wish I had learned growing up. I didn't. I learned how to be judgy and fearful, and my life reflected it. Luckily, that's not the only way. There are other teachers out there besides your parents and your family and even your community. If you don't like how your parents or your family or community make you feel, there are other people in the world that feel more like you do. Find your people. I like to be a beacon for people who struggle with clutter, whatever. This is who I am. And I know I have felt better in my life when I have found my people. So there's 41 of us here. Here's our people. We have found our people. And if there are people that are making you not feel good, notice that, but also notice you can do something about that. You can turn off the radio. You can stop them. You can interrupt them. You can say to them, I do not want to hear that. That is not what I believe. And you can speak up for yourself. What I believe is this. I choose not to hang out with you because you believe in things that I do not believe in and they're harming the world. And so I offer to you that in a certain way, and I just mean this as a point of insight, not blame, that we inadvertently allow people to make us feel a certain way. We give our power away from ourselves to them when we allow their thoughts and actions and words to make us feel a feeling. Now, the neat thing is there's a balance right there. There's a balance right there. You can notice, and again, notice, great hydration word. You can notice, oh, when they say that way, I am feeling this way. Where's that coming from? They may not even realize it. They just may be blabbing along. They don't realize you might be wicked sensitive. I'm a delicate fucking flower, Jay. Okay? And notice how words make you feel. Notice how tones make you feel. And get some distance from it. And then you can decide whether you take it that way or you push it away and let it drop. Because there's one way that has you, somebody throws a a dog poop at you and you catch it because you're used to catching the dog poop, you can hold the dog poop. I feel like I should have one of those rubber ones that you would get at like the joke store or something, or Spencer Gifts. Somebody throws some turd at you, you may have be in the habit of catching whatever anybody throws to you. But once you do that and you notice it, you have the choice to hang on to it, oh, or to drop it like it's hot and then wash your hands because it's gross. Yeah, lady bandit. Yeah. My grandmother worried, my mother worried, and I am breaking the cycle. I don't want my kids to inherit that trait. Yeah. My mom's a worrier. I never really knew my grandmothers that much because we're not a very close family. So we never got that deep. But I can bet that she learned how to do what she did by the people she was surrounded by. Yeah. Judy Dukes, I grew up worrying about what other people think of me and my actions. Oh, 100%. Me too. Me too. But I realized at a certain point, oh my God, I'm going to live. I don't want to say an inauthentic life sounds very life coachy, but I'm going to live a life that's not true to myself, trying to make them happy. But they're not even happy with how it's panning out for them. So you can notice where you came from. You're in the car, glance in the rear view mirror, look at where you came from, take that into account. But then, you guys, we are all here in the driver's seat. You know where the driver looks all the freaking time? Out the windshield, out the clean windshield, ahead, to saying, here I am now. Yes, that's where I came from, but here I am now, and moving my head away the certain way. This is why I call my coaching destination decluttered. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to head in the direction of? What lights my heart up? What brings me joy? Even if it doesn't bring them joy. And the funny thing is, Lady Bandit say, Judy, I did too. How many of those people are still in your life? Even if they are no longer on the planet, when you hear their voices in your heart and you allow their words to affect your actions, they are still alive. They are still in your life. You hear their voices in your head and in your heart. And if they make you do a thing, they are still with you, for better or worse. Now, here's how I like to think of it is the people who affected us, they were doing the best they could. I mean, there could seriously be assholes. I totally know there are people who are just mean and assholish. But for the most part, I would like to think that there are people who are just trying to do the best they can with what they have, but what they have isn't a lot. They have a skill set and a toolkit full of shitty tools that they inherited from their parents and their parents before them, full of fear and judgment and things like that. Luckily, things are different now. And that's why I love hanging out with this crew right here, because we all are like, I get that, but I want to do something different. I want to stop that family cycle and I'm going to do something different. I'm Auntie Beth. I have no children. I travel the world with my rock star husband, rock star. I lead by example to show my nieces and nephews and whoever else on the planet that you don't just have to sit down, marry the guy from high school and have 2.5 kids. Now, if you want to do that and it brings you life, hell's a poppin'. That lights you up, please. But if it makes you go, ugh, there are other options in the planet. So notice you can stop something at any time. You can disrupt it. You can interrupt it. You can slow the roll on it and do something different. And ideally, not just different for different sake, not just reacting, but also responding to your heart, you know? Yeah. Now, Kat Roby says, whether it's true or not about each person, I like to think hurt people helps me dodge the dog poop they try to throw. Yes. Yes. People who don't feel good want other people to not feel good with them. They drag you down into their misery. Yeah. Now, LO says, I feel bad. Notice, I feel bad because my relative has a very laconic, monotone voice affect that is easily to offended. Yeah. So notice how people can be and how that affects you. You could do something about it. Now, I show up with an animated voice. I'm like a freaking cartoon here, Jay, right? But I like to have some life in my voice because the tone of voice you use clues people into the kind of person you are. I'm pretty happy nowadays, you know? And so I say this to you in a certain tone. It's up. It's, hey, this is fun. Let's do this. That's the co pilot. Come on, let's have fun. You're going to die whether at some point we're all going to not be on this mortal coil. Do you want to be on your deathbed looking back saying, "Damn it, I should have done whatever," or are you going to look back and be like, "Damn, look at all these cool things I did. Remember that time when, and that time, and then we did this, and then we did that, and oh, that was fun." And it doesn't have to be all the big glamorous things. Sometimes it can be the smallest little things that make you feel good. So the tone of voice you use with yourself, the tone of voice you use with others. And if you know you're sensitive, be sensitive to be aware of your tone of voice and your choice of words and how they affect other people. Now, I love this. Kelly Smith, and I got to watch the time here. What do we got? Oh, we got like 9 minutes left, but then I do have a hard stop at 10. Kelly Smith says, my destination was get all my morning chores done before the end of this live. Boom, they're done. Yay. You do it. I love it. Yeah. Learn from what you works for you and do more of what works for you. And what I say works for you, I mean this. Sustainably, repeatably, organically. Repeatedly. Things that you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life that you don't mind doing, and it's not an all or nothing. It's not like I did 50 sit-ups and then I hurt for 5 days and then I did another 50 and then how about 10 one day, 10 another, 10 another, 10 another. Really looking at how you move through the world and how you perform actions and saying, is this like organic farming? Is this organic farming or is this using chemicals to get an artificially large strawberry that when I get it, it doesn't feel anything good. Diane Cohn, you're asking how do we get on the Zoom tomorrow? Good question. Wicked easy. First thing is, I do see some people have signed up for the mailing list. So first thing is, hop on my free mailing list. So go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, all one word, destinationdecluttered.com. When you do that, you can scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and there's this little form that says, "Put your email address in here and promise me you're not a robot." I'm paraphrasing. When you do that, you will be getting an automatically generated welcome email. Um, look for it. You've never gotten an email from me, so your email um, provider may think it's spam, but it will be sent out to you. In that welcome email is a link to a hidden page on my website. Now, I hide it because I only want it for the good people. And on that hidden page is a link to all sorts of good stuff. It's the decluttering parties on Zoom. It is the schedule of when my TikTok lives and YouTube lives are from here until literally the end of May, and also habit tracker, all sorts of good stuff. So to recap, wicked easy, destinationdecluttered.com, sign up for the mailing list, look for the email, click the link. If you look everywhere for the email and you just can't find it, email me directly. Here is my email address, beth@destinationdecluttered.com. Send me an email and say, hey, I signed up and I didn't get the welcome email. That way, I will be able to look at my thing and my on my side because some people are caught in my spam filters because I don't know, technology is inaccurate. So yeah, so tomorrow actually, here's a fun thing. So today is Friday. I was going to say Prince Spaghetti Day, but that's Wednesday. Tomorrow is Saturday. Now, Saturday morning, I'm doing a declutter party, 8 a.m. Eastern to 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I know that is earlier than I had been starting them, but the weather is getting good where I am. Maybe the weather is getting better where you are. And even if the weather is getting whatever, starting sooner and getting your decluttering done gives you more time during the day to go have fun. So tomorrow, I have a lot of fun planned for tonight, tomorrow, the next day. My life is full of fun plans. I got to share with you guys, but I also get the stuff done. So 8 a.m. Eastern is tomorrow's declutter party. So you can buy a ticket for that. When you buy the ticket and you fill it out, you get sent a link to the Zoom. We have another one on Monday too. I want to say Monday is. I'm just looking right here at the place. Let me do this thing. Do. Monday at 10 o'clock Eastern. Because again, starting the weekday, maybe like just getting your decluttering together can set you up for the week. And then the final decluttering party for the month of May won't be until Saturday, May 31st. That is also 8 a.m. So I share that info with you so that you can compare it to your schedule. You can say, does that work for me? Could I get up that early? Will it be, how would it be to experiment with this? And also, just so you know, when you buy a ticket, it's like a $20 ticket, and 50% of that, half of that money, I donate to a local women's homeless charity because you and I struggle with clutter and abundance. And there are people out there who don't even have homes to be cluttered. And I also do one-on-one coaching. Heather MC says, I highly recommend doing one-on-one coaching with Beth. She helped me transform my whole house. And Heather also, we coached together, and she shows up on the TikTok lives and the YouTube lives and the decluttering parties. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. Now, the neat thing is about one-on-one coaching is that instead of me kind of managing the whole group of people and answering a little bit of you and a little bit of you, it's just about you. It's just about you. The patience, the strategy is all custom tailored to wherever you are, wherever you came from, but more importantly, wherever you want to go. And much like a driver's ed teacher, I notice the skills you have and we celebrate what you do well and we say keep on doing that, but the things that are not so good, we get curious, how could you do it differently to get the result you want? And it's a 10 session package. And typically it's an hour a week for 10 weeks in a row, but I travel and you have a life. So if you need to reschedule, I'm so overly easy about the rescheduling thing because it needs to fit into your life. And the neat thing is summertime is often a great time where people's organic schedule shift. Maybe you've got, like a Friday off from work, or maybe you are a teacher and you have all summer off. So sometimes this change of season can be the perfect time to learn these skills. And I say like summer school, but that has a bad connotation. Learn these skills and practice them. So then when you have these skills, you have them for the rest of your life. So that's what one-on-one coaching is about. You also get first dibs on my one-on-one coaching consultations. Every coaching relationship starts with just you and me meeting on Zoom as a consultation I hear what you're struggling with. I determine whether I can help you or not. And most of the times I can. And if I can help you with what you're struggling with, then we talk about how we could work together. So that's what that's all about. Now, speaking of one-on-one coaching, I'm looking right now. I have a client at 10 o'clock. She's in a different time zone with me. This is a great thing about coaching through Zoom is that she can be at her house in California and I'm right here in Pennsylvania, and yet we get to be connected. I love it that Therapy Gal Sue, morning goals met. Thank you for checking in and letting us know. I love it. Kat Roby indulged in kitchen tidy adventures. Small followed my muse. Laundry and desk will be a DD recording. Yes, and check it out. Before I leave for my next trip on Wednesday, there will be over 700 Destination Decluttered videos on the YouTube page. This one is always going to show up there already, and I'm going to upload the one from the what do you call it, TikTok today. So we're getting closer. So you have plenty of things to put on in the background when I'm not around. Okay. So nice to meet you all. Thank you, Patricia. I'm glad you learned a few things. I will be showing up next week for TikTok lives. Tomorrow is the declutter party. If you want to know the schedule, as I said, sign up for the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. And I hope you have a great weekend. Okay.